Our other self is more powerful than our physical self because it is not limited by that which is tangible. The human brain is both the broadcasting and receiving station that puts us in touch with the greatest intangible force, infinite intelligence. Our other self is more powerful than our physical self because it is not limited by that which is tangible. The human brain is both the broadcasting and receiving station that puts us in touch with the greatest intangible force, infinite intelligence. Welcome to episode 13, step 12 on the road to riches, the brain, the broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Napoleon Hill makes a statement in this chapter that should stop us all. He writes, "Man, for all his boasted culture and education, understands little or nothing of the intelligent force, the greatest of all the intangibles, thought." Think about that. With everything we know, with everything we have studied, with all the technology, all the information, all the education available to us, we still understand very little about the most powerful force in the universe, thought. Mr. Hill tells us every person has two selves. The physical self, limited by knowledge of physical things we can see, touch, weigh, and measure, the things our five senses can confirm. And the other self, not bound by what the eyes can see or the hands can touch, not limited by that which is tangible. Mr. Hill tells us that our other self is more powerful than our physical self. He writes, "Remember that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they arrive. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually comes at the moment of some crisis through which they are introduced to their other self." This entire journey of 13 weeks to becoming rich has been about one thing: awakening and communicating with your other self so that you will keep going when faced with that moment of crisis. Every step, every principle, every episode, desire, faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, the mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind. All of it has been preparing us for this moment. This episode reveals the instrument through which that awakening happens, the human brain. The human brain is both the broadcasting station and the receiving station for thought, putting us in touch with the greatest intangible force, infinite intelligence. When the brain is stimulated and vibrating at a high rate, it sends thought vibrations out into infinite intelligence, and it receives back ideas, hunches, and inspired plans. The brain does not generate genius alone. It connects to a source of intelligence greater than itself, and the quality of what it broadcasts determines the quality of what it receives. Hill tells us that in order to use your broadcasting station to send and receive thought vibrations, you must employ these three principles: the subconscious mind, which is the sending station of the brain through which vibrations of thought are broadcast into infinite intelligence; the creative imagination, which is the receiving set through which the energies of thought are picked up from infinite intelligence; and finally, auto-suggestion, which is the medium through which you put your broadcasting station into operation, deliberately feeding your subconscious the thought you want broadcast. The stimuli that powers all three, that elevates the brain to the frequency required, begins with desire and is activated by belief. Mr. Hill writes, "Man has depended too much upon his physical senses. He has limited his knowledge to physical things which he can see, touch, weigh, and measure. But our other self, which is the more powerful self, operates in the realm of the intangible. And all of us, whether we acknowledge it or not, are controlled by forces which are unseen and intangible. The question is not whether those forces exist. The question is whether you are deliberately using them or leaving them to chance." Mr. Hill introduces us to the Carnegie Formula. Andrew Carnegie built one of the greatest fortunes in history using this formula. Formula's three parts: the definiteness of purpose, which is the clear signal to the brain; the mastermind, which is the amplified signal; and going the extra mile, the sustained signal. Without definiteness of purpose, your thought is noise. There's no clear signal. Infinite intelligence cannot recognize what it cannot receive clearly. Without the mastermind, your signal is weak. One mind broadcasting alone cannot match the combined frequency of minds working in harmony toward a definite purpose. Without going the extra mile, your signal has no sustained momentum. It fires once and fades. It never builds a continuous frequency that infinite intelligence responds to. With definiteness of purpose, which is the required state of mind, your thought turns from noise to a clear signal that infinite intelligence can recognize. An unemotional thought produces noise, but a definite purpose, clear, specific emotion, charged, and repeated, produces a signal that infinite intelligence recognizes, a signal that it responds to. Definiteness of purpose is the tuning of the instrument. It sets the frequency. It tells infinite intelligence exactly what you are broadcasting and exactly what you need in return. With your mastermind, harmonious collaboration, your signal is strong. Hill tells us that the method of mind stimulation through harmonious discussion of definite subjects between people illustrates the simplest and most practical use of the mastermind. When two or more minds work in harmony toward a definite purpose, their combined brain frequencies create a force more powerful than either alone. Mastermind amplifies the broadcasting power of every brain within the alliance. The signal to infinite intelligence becomes stronger. The receiving becomes clearer, and the other self of every member is elevated simultaneously. You cannot reach your highest broadcasting frequency alone. The mastermind is the amplifier. Carnegie's third principle is to go the extra mile. If going the extra mile is paying the price required, your signal becomes sustained momentum. It stays ignited. It builds a continuous frequency that infinite intelligence responds to. What does it mean to go the extra mile? Going the extra mile is not about working harder for its own sake. It's about willingness to pay the full price of your definite purpose until infinite intelligence delivers the physical equivalent. Not the price others are willing to pay, the price your definite purpose requires. Your physical self asks, what is the minimum required? Your other self asks, what is the price I have to pay to get what I truly want? Those who build lasting wealth are not always the most talented, not always the most resourced, not always the most connected. They are the ones willing to pay the price that their definite purpose requires, providing more service than they are paid for, establishing value and obligation consistently and persistently without complaint. The other self is always available, but it lies dormant in most of us. The brain is always capable of broadcasting to infinite intelligence and receiving back the plans, the hunches, the inspired ideas. The connection is not broken. It has not been activated. What determines the connection and how powerful it operates begins with a single thought, powered by desire mixed with faith. Your physical self may have limits, but your other self does not. Know, decide, do. See you next week.